welcome to 2025. If you were on the Republican side and thought I was going to shut up or go away, I want to say this in the most sophisticated way I can. Go yourself.
Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened.
There is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America.
Good night and good luck.
Hey, everybody, it's Rick. It's January 6th, 2025. A day, as I have said now several times, which will live in infamy. But you're going to hear this on January 7th, and we've moved on into another administration. As of today, Kamala Harris did her presidential or vice presidential duty, just as Mike Pence did before her, and certified the 2024 election. It's not the outcome any of us wanted, but it's the outcome we have. And you'll notice that no one stormed the Capitol with bear spray or sticks or clubs or brass knuckles or maces or God knows what else. No one attacked any cops. Nobody beat down any doors. Nobody carried any Confederate flags through the rotunda. Nobody had to be held back at gunpoint when they were trying to attack the Speaker or the U.S. Senate. Nobody had to cower under their desk to hide from a mob sent there by President Biden. It didn't happen. I'm not saying it's because the non-Trump side is better than they are, but it's because they're better than they are. They actually believe in America at a level that doesn't exist in the MAGA world. They believe in Trump. They believe in his ascendance. They believe in his power. And that's it. That's all they believe in. Now, I wish I could tell you, for the sake of the country, that this is going to go easy. But I doubt it. I doubt it's going to go easy. But today, as my first podcast of the year back on the air, I wanted to give you a few minor, tiny shreds of strategy and optimism. And they go hand in hand. The strategy that we see laid before us is driven by the fundamental weaknesses of the MAGA coalition. Now you're thinking, what do you mean, Rick? How can they be weak? He owns the Senate. He owns the House. He owns the White House. He's going to do Schedule F. He's going to do Project 2025. He's going to have executive orders. The Supreme Court, asks when they can come over and wash his car every weekend. What power could we possibly have in the outside world, in the people who want to resist Trump? Well, the first bit of power you have is resistance to Trump. The first part of your power is your willingness to resist Trump, to continue to be in the fight, to continue to stand up in the fight, to continue to push forward in the fight. It is hard. I know a lot of people are still very forlorn 2 months later. I get it. There's a lot to be upset about, a lot to be angry about, a lot to be scared of. But your willingness to stay in the fight is your first weapon in the fight. Your willingness to get back in the arena is your very first weapon. Now, it's important to look at the enemy objectively. And when I say enemy, I do mean the enemy. I believe that the MAGA movement, led by Donald Trump and directed and counseled by people like Steve Bannon and Neon Weirdo, Ketamine Boy, all these people, I believe they have a fundamental weakness. There is a divide inside of this party that can't be papered over. There's a divide inside the Republican world, the MAGA world, that you can't stick a Band-Aid on it. You can't stick a chest seal on it. You can't pretend it's not real and pendant and terrible for them. You saw the smallest preview of this during the H-1B visa fight right after and right in the Christmas window.
The holiday feud between factions of Trump's MAGA base over H-1B visas came to a head over the weekend, with the president-elect coming out in support of the program that allows the brightest foreign workers, many of them engineers and computer scientists, to live and work in the U.S. The broader debate reveals a significant rift in Trump's MAGA base just weeks before he is set to take office.
There were a lot of people on social media, even on Trump-friendly platforms, who, when Trump took the position of Elon and the Broligarchy on H-1B visas, were very disappointed. They were surprised. They were shocked. They were tearful. They were They were waking up after a beautiful, beautiful dream to realize that Donald Trump, as he always does, lied to them.
We did not ask them to engineer an immigration policy. Tech wants indentured servants, not high-skilled workers. You don't even know what MAGA immigration policy is.
Because the idea that they wanted was that we were going to get rid of all of the foreigners. We were going to get rid of everybody who isn't born in America, American citizens. And Elon and the oligarchy, they make a lot of money bringing in H-1B visa folks. And they make a lot of money doing that because those people work for less than American workers do. Many of them are also more educated and trained than American workers, but we'll leave that aside for the moment. Donald Trump uses the H-1B visa program to staff his golf resorts, his hotels, his various other crapulous enterprises in the constellation of his global scamology. And none of that, look, H-1B visas have their place. I think we need a guest worker program in the country. We basically have full employment, folks. If you want a job, you're going to have a job right now. Now, are you going to have a job being a senior lead programmer at Google? No, because you don't know Python. You don't have a CS degree from Stanford or Carnegie Mellon or somewhere like that, or MIT, and your dollar store Costa sunglasses, raggedy goatee, and Ford F-250 Super Duty King Cab in your profile do not communicate that you have spent a lot of time trying to learn Python. But that division between the elite of the MAGA and Trump Republican universe and the pathetic of that same universe is present. It's not just present, it's constant. That is your first angle of attack, folks. Donald Trump is going to be pressed over and over again to do the things that are in the fantasy catalog of what the MAGAs believe they want. Mass deportations, kill all the cartel members in the country, go crazy on this and that and the other thing. All that stuff is politically salient for them. They bought it. They believed it. They swallowed the entire. They drank the entire bottle of that stuff. And it's not going to happen. Chinese tariffs. Trump is already getting entreaties, I assure you, from Tim Cook and from Jensen Huang and from all these other major important people in the tech and financial world saying, listen, bro, we hate the Chinese too, but we can't do it this year. We need to get this deal done. We need to make this or that happen. We need to do this or that, so that we protect, our stock price. Why do you think Tim Cook's given him $1 million from Apple? Tim Cook has no truck with Donald Trump. Tim Cook doesn't give a damn about Donald Trump. He cares about Apple. He cares about the 10 Qs at the end of every quarter. He cares about his stockholders, his shareholders. And so you're going to see Trump wedged over and over again between the money class and the populist class. That is a major wedge. Now, in 2016, I wrote an article about it was the MAGA purists versus the plutocrats. We're going to have that story all over again. We're going to have that same story play out. You're going to have the outside types, the MAGA influencers, the Steve Bannons, all the crazies, every day beating the drums, screaming, tearing their hair out. You must do X or Y, Mr. President. And you will have people inside the White House who will never say no to Trump, but will also have the positional power inside the White House to use bureaucracy, delay, etc. Susie Wiles is a master at this. Watch what happens. Susie's going to become the enemy of the MAGA state. She's going to become the enemy of Steve Bannon and all these yahoos because she understands that a lot of the things he wants in his gut and that he knows the base wants conflict with the money. And the money people are more important to Trump by an order of magnitude. I don't say this in the sort of democratic way where he only loves billionaires, but he only loves billionaires. He looks at everyone else as a sucker, a rube, a mark, the target of the con. And with the guys like Elon and Vivek and Thiel and and Ramaswamy and all these other weirdos around him. Trump is going to continue over and over again to listen to them over Billy Bob Bumfuck out in Ass Crack, Alabama, because he knows that if the markets are good, if quarterlies are good, he's good. He knows if the world looks like it's prospering, he's going to prosper politically. That's the thing about a lot of the promises he made, is he knows at some basal level, and certainly the smarter people around him from the money world know, that if you do tariffs, you crash the economy. You do a government shutdown, you crash the economy. You deport 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 million people, you crash the economy. You have a lot of ways to crash the economy. You have a lot of ways to crash world markets. And while the idea that we are this island surrounded by oceans, as charming as that was back in the 18th century, it's not the real world anymore. A lot of the things Trump can do in office will absolutely crash the economy, cause terrible pain for his own base. Do you really want to be Donald Trump and Mike Johnson and John Thune going into September of 2026, next year, an election year, with massive tariffs on imported goods? Because you know what that means? That means the mom with her 3 kids in the minivan, who, after she got home from work, picked them up from childcare and dragged her ass to the Walmart to shop for some stuff for dinner. If she's paying 15 or 20 or 30% more for goods, if you think inflation was bad, Donald Trump wants to do inflation that he's chosen to do. This is, again, this division of what the elites want to do in the MAGA world and what Trump wants to do in the MAGA world and what the base wants to do, that is the first angle of attack. That's the first zone we run through. The second part of this, all these appointees that are coming up. Now, look, a lot of them are going to get through. They are. Focus on the ones that you should focus on. Hegseth, Gabbard, Kennedy, Patel. These people are danger to the country. They're a danger to our intelligence community, our rule of law, our military readiness. They are a sort of portfolio of people that no other person, no other president, Republican or Democrat, would look at these people and go, these are the very best in these fields. These are the people I trust in these fields. These are the people that I should have front and center, that I should have Tulsi Gabbard, who is not a person with the experience or the judgment, or frankly, from what I can see externally, the patriotism to be the director of national intelligence. Robert F. Kennedy wants to return us to the days where 20,000 kids a year got polio, and about 1,500 to 1,800 of them died from polio and a variety of other diseases. He is a crackpot, a crank, a weirdo, a fruitcake, a conspiracy nut job. The very idea of this man being anywhere near power remains in my mind the most single bright line test of whether or not people in the Senate are going to be are looking at their legacy and their reputations at all. Because Kennedy is a disaster on wheels. He is a bad person who will lead a department that is vital for the health and safety of Americans. He will lead it badly. Have that fight. Don't be afraid of that fight. Don't be afraid of the pod bros and the social media blowback and the weird anti-vax jackasses online. Go at him. Go at Gabbard. Go at Hegseth. And Kash Patel, I think most of all, in a way, if you end up defeating Patel, you end up breaking a really key element in the MAGA universe that they believe is essential: the defeat of the deep state, the defeat of the evil FBI who set Trump up and made. Nobody ever set Trump up. Trump did this shit to himself. And I want to remind people why he's relitigating 2020 right now. Because Trump knows that he is here about to be sworn in as president for a second time by pure dumb luck. And the form of that dumb luck was Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland will go down in history. If this goes wrong and bad and really off the rails, Merrick Garland will go down in history as the guy who enabled it, who empowered it, who would not stop Trump by prosecuting him in a timely way. That, to my mind, is something to keep front and center. Donald Trump was not exonerated for the crimes he's committed on the documents, on January 6th, on the election fraud, on everything. He was not exonerated. Merrick Garland waited too fucking long to pull the trigger on prosecuting him. Merrick Garland waited too long to take action. It is unforgivable, but we're here. So, and again, I told you I was going to give you some strategy to approach this early going and some up notes. We have a very narrow majority in the House. We have a fractious majority in the Senate. We have even John Roberts on the Supreme Court feeling a tad nervous about where things stand right now, given some of his recent statements, trying to remind the administration they still have to follow the law. How quaint. We should have thought of that last year, John. But I want to say this. Focusing on what you can do, keep your voice out there, folks. Don't get obsessed with every single piece of trash Trump throws in the path. Stay on the mission. Cause friction. Cause trouble. Make it loud. For Democrats in the House and the Senate, go have the fight. Go have the fight. Get out on the floor and go have the fight. You have leaders who are showing you the way. Go have the fight. Don't pretend that this world is completely in their hands. In the House in particular, Mike Johnson could go at any time. Chip Roy could wake up with a hard on one morning and go, today's the day. They're going to have to pass a debt ceiling increase. How do you think that's going to go? These guys are like rats in a bucket, and they're going to eat each other. Encourage it. Push it. Don't cooperate with them. Because if Democrats think that the country will reward you for being the grown-up, mature adults, while the other side is throwing their own feces at the crowd, you are mistaken. Being an opposition party sometimes means opposing what they do. The first step of opposing what they plan to do, what they are doing, and what they will do if we let them get away with it, is just to stand up and be counted. I'm here. I thank you all for listening. Welcome to 2025. If you were on the Republican side and thought I was going to shut up or go away, I want to say this in the most sophisticated way I can. Go fuck yourself. We're still here. We're still in the fight. And for the folks who've supported us and been so kind and so encouraging in the last couple months, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know I speak for the whole team at the Lincoln Project when I say that. And for the critics who don't like what we do or how we do it, again, you're entitled to your opinion, but your facts are wrong. So with that, folks, we will see you again on the next show. We've got some great guests coming up in the next few months that are going to absolutely help you, I think, focus on how we win. Not just how we hold the line, not just how we don't give up as much ground, but how we win against these guys. I've asked our team to start assembling guests that are going to focus on the win. They're going to focus on how we beat him legislatively, politically, how we break the MAGA movement. Guys, again, he won an election. He didn't win your souls. He doesn't own you. He doesn't own any of us. It's up to us to fight back and show him we do every day that we are free people in a free country, and we're going to make it more free by making him less effective. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Good night and good luck.